Hi all, bit of a different setup. I'm in my garage today for some reason. Anyway, today I'll be looking at the Alto TX212 PA speaker. You may be wondering though why I own a lot of PA gear. And the reason for that is I'm actually a mobile DJ. So that's why. And I can use this gear to compare this speaker against. So to begin, I'll do a sound demo of this speaker since that's what a lot of people want these days for some reason. I don't know why, but fair enough. It's a copyright-free song. Say what you will about the song, it may not be your taste, but that's okay. I think it has a good bass line to sort of give good comparison between the speakers, so that's good. And the two other speakers will be the Alto TS210 and the Yamaha DBR12. And it goes without saying this, obviously what you're hearing isn't what it sounds like in real life, so I encourage you to go out and listen to these speakers on your own, even though that might be a bit difficult at the moment, but that's okay. The microphone I'm using to record this is the Rode Video Micro, and it's from about 3 to 4 meters away from where the speaker is positioned. The speakers are turned up quite a lot, and there is no EQ applied at all. So let's do the demo.
Hold me close till I get up. Time is barely on our side. I don't wanna waste what's left. The storms we chase are leading us, and love is all we'll ever trust. Yeah, no, I don't wanna waste what's left. And on we'll go. Through the highways, till my shadow turns to sun rays, and on we'll go. Through the wastelands, through the highways, and on we'll go.
Alright, the sound coming out of the TX212 really isn't that bad at all. The only thing is I will say, after listening to the speaker at a loud volume for a long period of time, my ears do start to hurt after a while. And that's not an issue with the Yamaha DBR12. Although the Yamaha DBR12 is the cost of 2 of these speakers, so I don't know, there you go. But really, the sound coming out of this compared to other budget speakers is actually quite good, and I think the reason for that might actually be due to Alto, unlike other manufacturers, spends most of the money on drivers and good amplifiers, opposed to those other manufacturers who try to cram as many features as they can onto the back of their speakers, which sort of takes away from the actual good stuff that you want in a speaker, which is volume and audio quality. Out of the box, this speaker has little bass, which is actually quite a bit disappointing, but I think they do that to sort of give the user more volume. If you're playing a lot of pop or dance music, then I would highly recommend to use an EQ, whether this just be your phone's EQ or an external mixer, to just bring up the bass a little bit, and that'll give you a little bit more punch out of this speaker, which is probably what you want. Just do note when doing that, you will reach the clip light a lot quicker with this speaker, which is a bit annoying, but I think this sacrifice is worth it. So this speaker is 600 watts peak and 300 watts RMS. Generally when looking at a speaker, you want to look at what the RMS rating is, because that's a bit more accurate, whereas peak is sort of unreliable. It doesn't really mean anything actually. Comparing this to the Alto TX208 and TX210, this has pretty much double the power. Those are only 300 watts peak and 140 watts RMS. So you get a lot more bang for your buck out of the 12 and 15 inch versions of the TX2 series. The thing is, when I look for speakers on my own, I look more for SPL, and this speaker has a rating of 118 dB. This is just a more accurate measurement and helps me be able to compare speakers a lot more efficiently, since it tells you how loud your speaker actually is. The design is what I think makes this speaker most appealing. It sort of takes design cues from the True Sonic series, so the TS2 and TS3 series. And I love this design a lot. I think it's really the only difference between this generation, so the TX2, compared to the TX1 series, is just that it looks different. And it looks pretty good. You have this big front grille, which is beautiful. You have 3 carrying handles, so 1 on the top and 2 on the side. And this is handy for lifting it up and placing it on speaker stands and stuff. There's a standard speaker pole socket on the bottom, so you can obviously mount this on a stand, which is handy. And you can even tighten it. There's a small screw which you can tighten, and that works well. Just make sure not to over tighten it, otherwise you may cause damage to the stand. Another feature is you can also stack these on top of each other for storage. Unfortunately, I don't have a second to do that, but that's a really nice feature. And the speaker is also quite light, being only around 14 kilos. Also, you can use this as a wedge monitor. On the back of the speaker, you have an XLR and 1/4 inch combo jack. This is useful, you can plug a lot of things into that. Then next to that, you have an XLR output, should you want to daisy chain speakers. It's got a pretty standard volume knob, but below that you have a mic and line switch. If you're playing anything, just normal music through the speaker, then you want to use the line switch. But if you do have a microphone plugged directly into the back of the speaker, then do use the mic switch, and that basically just increases the gain. This is great, since the Alto TS2 series didn't have this, and basically you can just turn your volume all the way up into the mic section, which some people think is okay, but no, it's not. You'll blow your speaker doing that. Now, to the right of that, you have your signal light. This will just flash green, basically telling you that there is signal coming through it. But this can also turn red, and that's basically the maximum volume that you want to play your speaker at. If it's flashing red, that's okay. If it's solid red, just do watch it. You definitely want to turn it down instantly, otherwise you could potentially cause harm to your speaker. And then to the right of that, you have your contour switch, which basically just sort of increases the highs and lows to sort of give a more pronounced sound. And then below that, you have your ground switch. I don't really know what this does. It's supposed to solve issues with grounding, but I've never had it solve any of my problems, so I don't know. It's there if you need it. So my experience with this speaker has been fine. I originally got it to use with the TS212s as a wedge monitor for a live band. However, that event got cancelled, and that means I've been unable to actually use this at a real event. But that's okay, from what I can tell, it's a great speaker for the price. The speaker can get decently loud as well, and if you are playing a lot of pop and dance music, then I would definitely recommend getting a subwoofer for this. I think Alto now sells a TX212s, which is a pretty good subwoofer from what I've heard, but I've got the TS212s, and I'll give you a quick listen to that now. So yeah, if you are playing a lot of pop and dance music, then definitely get a sub for this thing, otherwise you will reach the clip light very quickly. The sound quality coming out of the speaker is fine for most people, and I assume you're buying it for volume and not to use in a studio. If you are doing that, then I would not recommend that. Now, the build quality on these Alto speakers is fine. I own 5 Alto speakers and to this day have had nothing fail on me, which is great. So who is this speaker for? Well, I guess it may be for a family who has a lot of parties at home and may want some loud music. Fair enough. Also, it's great for a microphone such as PA. You may just have, I don't know, a church or something that may require that. And a beginner mobile DJ could also potentially use this speaker, although I wouldn't exactly recommend that. You'd probably want to upgrade rather quickly, especially if you're charging a good price. So that's the first speaker review video I've done in ages. I think the sound demo, I definitely need to improve on that, because the song wasn't the right choice, because it sort of had a hiss in the song, which you would think would be coming from the speakers, but no, it's just a song, so that's a bit misleading. But that's it, I guess. Thank you for watching this video. If you liked it, please like. If you loved it, please subscribe. And if you have any feedback or questions, leave them down below. That's it for me, and goodbye.